Welcome back to the R-Rated Podcast. The R-Rated Podcast. This week's guest is...
I realized you're wearing all black. We're both not wearing holiday colors. I was like, wait.
I totally forgot.
I was like,
that.
We're in the holiday spirit. I'm like, we're not in the holiday spirit. Okay. Welcome back to the R-Rated Podcast. Today's guest is David Jimenez. He's a familiar face on the podcast. We actually haven't podcasted in a while, so it's nice to follow up and see how life has been. And he was the first person to do the Merry Christmas Holiday episode last year. We got cut off halfway, but actually it was a really good episode, and we really enjoyed that topic. So we want to follow up and do it again. So how are your holidays? Sorry.
That's good so far. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming back. So I want to talk about a couple of things today. Just how, it's Christmas time. Some people celebrate Christmas, some people don't. Like how that is, how Christmas movies have changed since we were kids, and how it's changed, and what about is it changing? Like, is it the family dynamic? Is it like, is social media being involved in these movies? Like, there's so many different things going on right now in these Christmas movies. I'm actually excited to talk about it. Mm-hmm. And I also want to bring up the more negative side of Christmas, because some people, they don't have that joy when it comes to the holidays for different reasons. Some people don't have family to celebrate it with, or, the holidays are also a very expensive time. So for some people, the holidays aren't as exciting as we may think, right? So I think it'll be fun to dig into that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess we'll start with, what's your favorite Christmas movie?
Oh. Shit. Okay. I think for now it's Why Him.
Yeah.
I think that movie's hilarious.
Yes.
But yeah, old classics, I guess, Jingle All the Way.
Mm-hmm. Classic.
Elf, I was just rewatching Elf last night.
I feel like Elf is like tradition. Like, if you don't watch Elf every year, then you're not, like, I feel like it's weird. Like, you're not like doing the Christmas traditions correctly. Like, Elf has to be on the list. But there'll probably be some people that are like, nah, Elf ain't it. Well, have you met anyone that's like, Elf isn't the best Christmas movie?
This goes back to, like, is Die Hard a Christmas movie, right?
Yes.
I think it depends.
Did you watch it recently? Or
yeah,
okay. So the first time I saw it was actually during COVID, like when it first started, like 2020. So let's say like 2-3, oh my God, almost 3 years. We're entering 2023. So almost 3 years ago. And I was like, I never, like, everybody was like, why haven't you seen it? It's like the best Christmas movie. And I was like, how is this a Christmas movie? It's all like it's about literally Bruce Willis like running around trying to like save the night, whatever, But when I watched it, I get why it kind of like ties in, because obviously, like, it's during Christmas time, it's at a Christmas party, and he's kind of like the hero he is the hero in the story. So it's kind of fun to like see this like character that kind of had like a Scrooge personality be this like hero, I guess. And then for some people, like, they don't really like the typical like cheesy like comical Christmas movie, or very like, family like Christmas movies. So maybe Die Hard is for those people, right? Like that want that action. Like, it can be Christmassy, but it can also be a little spicy.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it all depends on what people consider a Christmas movie.
Right?
Is a Christmas movie a movie where they directly talk about Christmas? Like Elf,
right?
They're talking about North Pole and Santa, or is a Christmas movie a movie that takes place in Christmas?
What would you consider a Christmas movie?
Dang, I think both. I think
in different ways, yeah. Because, I mean, yeah, no, because you're talking about it, you're mentioning it. Like, I definitely have seen two exactly those types of movies where I'm like, this was like full on, like, they put you in the North Pole, like, you think you're an elf, like, you're in that world. And then there's like one where it was more just like, oh, the idea of family and like not being together, but then like bringing the family together. So it was more like all about family and like being together for the holidays. And then like the other version is more like, we're elves and we gotta like deliver presents on time. So it's like there's such a range, I feel like.
There is. And then there's the animated stuff as well.
Yeah, like Polar Express. Yeah. That movie still kind of like, it used to make me cry as a kid, because I always felt so sad that the parents couldn't hear the bell at the end of the, like, he goes like this. He's like, if you believe, you could hear the sound of the bell or the noise of it. And they could never hear it. So they never believed. And it was like, damn, we went through this whole ass movie. They took a train ride. They went to the Polar Express. They did all this stuff. And still the parents don't believe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, they're great. I think there's an element of family togetherness, new beginnings.
Right.
And there's also that sense of, like wholeness, I guess, because that's really the only time where people openly talk about why happy holidays, why not only Merry Christmas, and then
right,
we're like, well, different people celebrate different stuff, and that's when I think mostly, and everybody I think is attuned to, because of the holidays, they're nicer and a little bit trying to be more understanding. So I think messages get through a little better. I
feel both, like. Definitely, like when I go to stores now, it's like, oh, happy holidays, like, people are like nice when you enter the store, leave the store. But I've also noticed, like, on the road, people are like in a more of a hurry, like there's more traffic, people are like rushing to get presents, like but I mean, with any holiday or any like day, there's going to be the people that are going to be angry, and then the people that are not angry. So just balances each other out, I guess. I did see the new show Santa Claus is, because there's multiple, because it's a whole family, actually, since you were talking about the whole family thing. The original movie was with Tim Allen, just called Santa Claus, and it's the one where he's he's like a busy dad working, and then his son's sleeping, and it's Christmas night, and Santa is on the roof, and Tim Allen thinks that Santa's breaking in, so he like goes outside to see what's going on, and he startles Santa Claus. Santa Claus falls off the roof and dies. Sounds kind of crazy, but there's a happy story. Tim Allen becomes Santa Claus because he killed Santa, basically. And then the whole journey of like, how is he going to be the new Santa? And then he has to like, take over the duties and make sure everybody gets their gifts on time. And anyway, it was a classic. I love that movie when I was a kid. So when I saw that Disney Channel made a show with the whole family included, because it takes off after the movie, and now that like in the movie he like got married and he has his kids and whatever. So it kind of takes off from that, and it's basically figuring out what will happen after Santa Claus retires, because he's getting to that age, I guess. So that's kind of what the whole show's about, is who's going to be the next Santa, because he's going to retire. And I don't want to say more because it's going to spoil it, but I actually really enjoyed the spin that they did on this show. Like, I was kind of worried that they were going to ruin a classic, because that has happened before where they do that. And they actually didn't. I think it was cool to incorporate the whole family, and it's always like, oh, it's just Santa Claus, but it kind of gave like a fun point of view of like, yeah, what does Mrs. Claus do when he's like on the sleigh like delivering presents? Like, what do the kids do? And yeah, it's just funny, a fun little twist and spin, and bringing back the original and mixing it with new. For once, it wasn't like, oh fuck, you guys fucked it up again, because sometimes, actually most of the time, that happens with a lot of the newer movies.
A lot of remakes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Have you seen any, I guess, do you still watch Disney movies? Like, if you know how like when we were kids it was like animated movies, like kid movies, but you know how once you reach a certain age, do you feel like I'm too old to watch these animated kid Disney movies, or do you feel like, nah, like I'm a kid at heart forever? Or do you feel like it's made for adults? I think
it's less of kid and adult in my head, right? And it's mostly just because it's a movie. It doesn't matter what format it is, I will watch it, if it keeps me engaged. That's mostly what it is these days. But I am mostly really shocked at the humor that I find in these kids.
Let's talk about the humor. Like, what kind of humor?
Little jokes that adults get, because
like hidden innuendos.
Exactly. You have to remember, and this is kind of what I like about them and the filmmaking of it, is that yes, it's for kids, and when the kids watch it, it's going to be super clean, right? But the parents also will enjoy it, and I think that's
so important. That's so important. I actually watched because I have little siblings. They're 10 and 9. So they're still into that whole stage of like, all the animated, all the like really cheesy like movies. And they definitely have those jokes in there so that way that the parents can enjoy it too. Because like at first I was like, they're like, please watch a movie with us, like please watch a holiday movie, and I was like, I don't know, because like I want, like, I'm like, I've seen all the classics like so many times, which I'm like, I'm okay with seeing it again, but they wanted to see a new movie and I was like, I don't know, it's just not gonna be as good. But then like I gave it a chance and it was actually funny. Like it actually like made me laugh throughout the movie or like giggle, and I'm like, like, and the kids didn't get it, so I think that's what made it even funnier.
Yeah. And then as you know, also as you grow, like those movies that you said you've seen 1,000 times, you watch it at a different age and you understand different stuff.
Exactly.
So
exactly,
you know, like long lasting.
Yeah, exactly. But my little brother did say, he was like, the formula to all of these Disney movies or like kid movies is that one parent always dies or it's like a divorce.
Disney.
And that's what he said. He said Disney movies, one parent always gets killed off, or like they're like the parents separate where it's like you can't get to the other parent because in another like continent or state or whatever. And I was like, no, like I don't think so. Like, you know, I just thought he was being like funny. And then we watched like 3 movies while I was home. And it was literally the same formula. Like in one, the mom died, and another one, the dad died on, like while he was riding a boat. It was just like so dramatic. I was like, why do the parents always have to die? Like, why can't they still do these like courageous things but have parents?
I don't know. Yeah.
I guess Disney knows like it will pull on their heartstrings.
Yeah, and Tarzan's parents completely get annihilated.
Yeah.
So
they're out here killing all their parents.
By a jaguar.
But I mean, even like all the princesses, they have no parents, or like I mean, I guess Jasmine, she has a dad, but no mom. We don't know what happened to her mom. What happened to her mom? What happened to her mom?
Let us know.
I just don't know why they always have to kill off the parents, because it doesn't seem very like Christmas holiday spirit to like.
I mean, I'm wondering if it's like a success formula.
It has to be.
Or if it's just lazy formula.
I think it was a success formula earlier on. They were like, oh my God, we're onto something here. And then I think they've overdone it now, where now it's like, oh, you're being a little lazy. Like, we already know, like, if the dad dies or the mom dies, it's going to be fucking sad. And, you know, we're invested because it's sad, because what's going to happen to the kid? It's the same formula.
But I mean,
we're like, what's going to happen to the child?
Like that montage from Up.
Yeah, you cry in the first 30 seconds. You know, it's fucked up.
And it's a loss, right? And it's a loss.
Again.
So I think it's just, it does get.
Nemo, they literally killed off the whole mom and all the other babies. It's just sad.
Disney,
Jesus.
What's going on?
Disney, for 2023, you have to try to make a movie without killing the parents off. That's going to be your challenge. They're like, who are you?
Oh shit.
Yeah, but anyway, that's pretty much what I've noticed so far. I've also noticed that now that a lot of these Christmas movies are on the streaming platforms, they're not necessarily maybe doing as well, or maybe they're just spitting out so many that like none of them are sticking. Like, you know, like we named so many like classics from when we were younger, and I feel like there's no holiday classics. Like, I haven't seen a new Christmas movie where I'm like, oh, this is gonna go down in like Christmas history, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I really can't. Can you? Like, have you seen one? I'm like, I genuinely want to know.
Maybe Elf was the last one.
Yeah, but that was already like 15 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Why Him, I think, is... I don't even think a lot of people have seen it.
Right, because Why Him it's like a dirty comedy, but it's centered around Christmas time and like the holidays and like doing like the family activities, like, you know, getting your tree, cutting your tree down or whatever. But some people would be like, that's not a Christmas movie.
Yeah. And so,
but I love it. Yeah. I think it's funny.
Yeah,
I think it's hilarious because, I mean, that is another holiday topic, like conjoining a family, like especially, you know, if someone's gonna like get married or two different families meeting each other, that first holiday gathering. Oh my God. Yeah. Have you seen 4 Christmases?
Maybe.
Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon back in like 2009, I think. They're like a couple, and they always pretend to go on vacation. Oh no, they don't pretend. They actually go on vacation during Christmas time because they don't want to decide like your family or my family and have that whole drama. So they're like, let's just go on vacation instead. So they plan to go to like Tahiti, gets canceled. can't go to Tahiti. So they get stuck going to each other's Christmases. Mind you, both of them have divorced parents. So they're going to 4 Christmases. And it's funny because you see all the different like family dynamics and like the mom's like dating this like young guy. She's like super raunchy and like more sexual than them. And it's kind of like, oh, like what's going on? And then like the other house is like, they're all like kind of like meatheads and they're like, oh, like wrestling each other and they're like grown ass men and they're just like, what's happening? And then you got like the proper like rich parents on one side and like all that kind of stuff. So it's actually a really fun watch. That one I would definitely put in the to-do list or to watch list, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I seen it a while ago probably because I like Vince.
Vince Vaughn he's pretty fucking he's hilarious. He's like an OG. Yeah. Him and Owen Wilson, I feel like they work well together. Wedding Crashers. I don't think that's a Christmas movie, but still a good movie. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else. I have noticed in a lot of these movies, social media is involved now in these Christmas movies. Like they're always bringing up like, oh, how are we gonna do Christmas this year when Amazon is like the new Santa and like you can get stuff delivered right by your doorstep, you know?
Is Santa still a thing for kids? I wonder.
Yeah. No, I think so. I think that's actually a really good question. We do live in an era now where kids find things out way sooner just because the internet, you know, all these social media platforms. And I think kids are probably starting to believe in Santa like less and less and less. Like at a younger age, like they stopped believing at a younger age is what I'm trying to say. Like I'm trying to think when I stopped believing or I just like found out. I was like, I used to try to stay up and like fucking see him. Yeah. No, literally. I was like, I remember like, they're like, you got to go to sleep. You got to go to sleep. And it'd be like midnight. And I'm like, I'm fucking staying up. I'm going to see him this time. Like last year you got away with this. And then I would like wait. And then obviously I'd fall asleep because I was exhausted. And so I always would think like, oh, he's coming at like 2 a.m. You know, because I always fall asleep before that. Yeah. I was like, he knows to come at 2 a.m. But yeah, anyway, found out that wasn't real. Yeah. I think I was probably like 9 or 10. I was kind of a late bloomer when it came to that. Maybe 11 even.
I don't know. I think I don't remember ever thinking about Santa.
Ever?
Yeah, I don't think I. Yeah, I mean, I was aware of Santa as an entity, but not.
But you never were like, oh, what will Santa get me?
Not really.
Wow. Because see, that's interesting. We both have very different like Christmas upbringings or holiday. Mm-hmm. Like, how do you celebrate Christmas? Are you celebrating on Christmas Eve on the 24th, or do you celebrate on Christmas Day?
Starts the 24th.
Yeah. Mexicans, so me too. Okay, so we have that in common. Do you guys make tamales?
Yeah.
We do too. Okay. But see, that's like not even traditional Christmas already. I don't even know what traditional Christmas food really is. Probably like a ham or a turkey no, turkey's Thanksgiving. Maybe like a ham or like some kind of roast. I don't know. And then I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I just remember a lot of like hot food, like champurrado or atole, like hot drinks.
Yes, eggnog for sure. That's always at the parties. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, and then do you guys open presents on the 24th, or how do you guys go about that?
If the kids manage, this is like the one time where the kids get to be awake as much as they can.
Yeah, I remember like I'm staying up till midnight.
Yeah,
like
they end up falling asleep anyway.
Yeah.
If they stay up, they'll open them then and there. But if not, the next day.
Yeah, when I was younger, we would do that too. We would celebrate, eat, like hang out, play the white elephant games. Have you ever played that before? Mm-hmm. Yep. Where you buy a game of like $5 or $10 value, depending on what you want to do, and then you just kind of go in a circle, pick a gift. And whatever you get, like, you kind of get stuck with it unless you, like, I think you have one more round where you can steal it. Yeah, exactly. So it's always fun to give a gag gift because certain family members get pissed, which makes it so worth it. But, yeah, I used to open presents when I was a kid on the 24th at night because we were like, we stayed up all night. We stayed at this family party and we deserve to open a present. So, like, we would do that. But now that we're older, we just open it on the 25th now. Like, we do more of like a breakfast in the morning with the like immediate family and then like open presents together, which probably isn't the standard like way people celebrate it either. I don't know, like everyone's so different when it comes to the holidays.
Yeah.
Like, do you celebrate with your whole extended family, or just your immediate family for the holidays?
Immediate, yeah. These days it's everybody's a little spread apart.
Yeah.
So just the immediate family, but it'd be nice to get together with the rest of my family.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's definitely tricky because when you get older, I think it's another thing I've been realizing is as we get older, the little spark of Christmas magic starts to fade a little bit.
You have to work now.
I know. I don't want to sound like the Grinch where I'm like, oh, Christmas. It's not the same. But it's not. It's just different because, like, okay, now we're getting to the age where we have to buy presents too. Mm-hmm. They're like, you're not a kid anymore. You have a job. You can afford to, like, buy your siblings presents,
who gives
right?
You presents now, right?
Right. And so I mean, so also I have a big family. So that's a whole nother thing. It's just like having to buy a lot of gifts and it gets expensive. And then also like you don't have that like, oh, Santa, magic anymore. So it's more like, what are you going to make of the holidays? And if you don't have like that jolly mood, or if you're maybe not vibing with everyone in the family, or maybe, you're hitting a financial like break or situation where things aren't good, like the holidays might not be your best friend.
Yeah, it's tough years for sure sometimes.
And then they have the crazy sales where you get tempted. You're like, I need to buy like a new TV because it's like 80% off right now. For me.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's kind of the problem that I have with Christmas.
Well, I think that's the problem.
Man, it's all good shit. I want it.
Yeah. No, me too. I was like, I'm going to save my money. I'm only going to buy like holiday gifts that I need to buy like for the family. And then that's it. I was like, I'm not buying myself anything. I was like, you're good. And then I ended up buying myself like 2 things. And I was like, why do you think you deserve this? I'm like, well, you tricked yourself. Yeah. And I'm like, it's the holidays. You're buying yourself a present. I'm like, oh man. And then I just keep telling myself like, you worked so much, which I did. But I'm like, I got to stop using that as an excuse because that's also not good to have like these habits of like, oh, I work so hard. Let me like spend all my money because.
Well, just a lot, like do what I do. A portion of the paycheck, whatever paycheck I get, there's a portion of it assigned to just stupidity.
Okay. How much of the paycheck? Like what percentage?
It depends on the paycheck, right? So the percentage depends. If it's a huge paycheck, it's obviously not going to be 10%, right?
Right.
But if it's a small one, then you got to like measure and know what your needs are. But I think that's kind of what's helped me keep having fun, because if you don't have fun or buy yourself stuff, treat yourself with the money that you're making, it's like, well, what's the point?
Right. I agree. And also, since we're like filmmakers, it sucks because we also have to like save money to put it into our own projects.
Yeah.
Because when you're like starting out, I get it. Like when you're starting out, people don't want to just give you a large sum of money because they're like, I don't know what you can do with this yet. Obviously, like we want to believe in ourselves and we're like, no, I can do it. Like it's not going to go to waste, but there's always that risk. So I get why people wouldn't want to invest in a newbie, but that's why it's also good to save your own money. So that way you can fund your own shit, show it and be like, ta-da, now can you fund me?
Exactly.
But yeah, it's definitely important to save, even when there's a lot of tempting stuff going on, like the holidays where there's all the Black Friday deals, there's Thanksgiving, there's Christmas, there's New Year's. And then you have like all these like crazy sales because they want to get you. And I don't know if they're actually that much cheaper. I think they mark up the prices and then they like throw on like the sale sign and then they're like, but you're still paying like what the original price was. I kind of feel like that's what it really is.
It's the sales.
I think I'm figuring it out. I'm like, what is
I've been spying this TV at Best Buy forever and it's like $400.
Yeah.
Here, $400 there, and then for Black Friday it was $450. I was like, oh.
Are you serious? Yeah, wow. Wow. Yeah, it's just, I feel like that's the problem. Like we're hitting inflation too. So like everything's just like so overpriced. Like even just like gas to like take a road trip to go see the family. Like I literally was like hesitant about, oh my God, let's talk about holiday travel. Sorry, I just like got a PTSD moment because like sometimes driving to the Bay Area can be crazy from LA, and then the airport is a whole nother story around the holidays. Have you ever traveled around the holidays? Oh, God bless your soul.
I don't.
Yeah. But that's a whole thing too. Families travel to like Hawaii or Mexico for the holidays.
Yeah, and just flights are so expensive.
Yes.
Ridiculous. I think like
Are the holidays worth it overseas or in another country? Like, do you think you'll ever do that with your kids and wife in the future, or do you think you'd want to keep it more like here?
I mean, I know I'm a super planner and everything, but hey, with that stuff, I just go with the flow, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's whatever the family would like. New traditions is, you know, it's always good as well. Good. And yeah, just seeing how, because I think Christmas is something that's more a little more global.
Yeah.
Versus Thanksgiving, that's just
Thanksgiving is like just in here, US, right? Yeah.
So I think, you know, the spirit or the cheer is everywhere, and it's kind of similar. So I think you may get an experience, but
it is funny Mexico, though, because Christmas is celebrated so differently around the world. Like, yeah, like obviously, like, you know, everybody celebrates like their own version of it, but like in Austria, it's like Saint Nicholas. It's not Santa Claus, and like he looks more of like, if I can describe Saint Nicholas from the photos I've seen in the books when I was a kid, he seems like he's like 6'2" and like has like a big white, like super tall, skinny, like not like he's like, yeah, it's weird. Tall, skinny, long beard, kind of like maybe like Professor Dumbledore from Harry Potter, like that vibe, but like maybe a little thinner. And then he's wearing red and has like the little like hat with the cross on it and a cane.
Santas from around the world, what do they look like?
That's what I'm saying, because I'm like, in Austria, it's not Santa Claus, it's Saint Nicholas, and I know that's what he looks like. And then you have Krampustag, which in English it's Krampus. Is that how you guys say it?
I think so.
I can't say it in English. Like in English, it's too like my Austrian people would be so mad at me. So I have to say Krampus because it's from Austria, and it's honestly one of the scariest days of the holiday season. It's always on December 5th. And it's always the day before St. Nicholas. So, like, the story is in Austria that Krampus comes on the 5th, and he basically, like, gets all the bad kids. So then when St. Nicholas comes on the 6th, like, you know. So there's this thing. It's called the Christmas market, and it's really popular in Austria. It's like, looks like a little winter wonderland. They've, you know, copied it all over the world where they can because it's so cute. But Austria, it feels very traditional and homey. And when I would go there as a kid, I was fucking terrified because there were these big monsters, like look super scary, like big horns, and they would have cowbells on their waist, so you can like hear them running after you. And it was like super. It looked like a scary werewolf / like Bigfoot.
This sounds great.
And they had like sharp teeth, like that, and like red eyes, and they had whips. And they would come and whip you and hit you because you were like the bad kid.
Oh, I love it.
And so my parents would take me, which is fucking psycho when I think about it. No, I mean, it was like part of the like Austrian tradition.
Great way to keep kids in line.
Right. No, I was such a good kid. I never cried. I never like talked back. I literally like, I was so quiet. And I think that's why, because I was just like terrified that Krampus would come and get me. But they would literally be chasing after like all these teenagers and like whipping them. And I was like always so scared. I would like not leave my dad's side. I was like holding on to him like koala. I was like, I'm not leaving. And I just remember one of them coming up to me and he saw I was like shaking and he like just wiped his his nails were like mine right now, like claws. And he was just like going like this. And I was like, he's going to slice my eye. I was so scared. But luckily I never got hit because I was a good kid.
Oh, man, that sounds great. Like,
yeah. No, it's kind of terrifying.
Like, what do you call it? Horror Nights, but in Christmas.
Literally. It's literally like, it's literally Horror Nights. But people love it. People love the thrill of it. And then it's like weird because the next day it's all like peaceful and like, oh, that never happened. Like, and then it's like St. Nicholas is like here like handing out fucking fruits and nuts. And you're just like, what? Like, do we not remember what happened last night? There was like a chase going on.
I think I would be that kind of parent. I would
take him there.
Yeah, I would do that.
If I had boys or bratty kids, for sure. Yeah. I don't think, like I was definitely a little bit terrified from that. Where like, actually I was very terrified that I would always beg not to go the following year. Be like, please, let's not go. Let's not go.
I mean, if they told me not to, I would listen to it.
But my parents were always like, it'll toughen you up. I'm like, I mean, maybe without even realizing it, but like in that moment, I didn't feel like it. I was like, this is like the worst thing to ever happen. Yeah, literally. Like, I'm still scared. I still think about it. And I'm like, I remember like it was yesterday.
That's funny.
But yeah, so Santa Claus looks different in different parts of the world. I think we came to terms with that. Is there Asian Santa? No, because they don't celebrate Christmas, right?
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna say.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting like how they have made Santa look. Like who was in charge of that? Like who was like, let's make him look like an older gentleman with like a thick white beard, make him a little like bigger because he eats a lot of sweets. Like, did it come from like a storybook,
or did the first mention of Santa in history?
Right.
Comments.
Does anyone actually know?
I'm gonna be checking.
Where did Santa come from? What's like? No, like, was he born in like Iceland or something? Like,
no, I don't know. I know.
I'm like actually trying to like figure out the story.
That flies and gives good kids presents.
Whoever came up with that story, or man, like Santa Claus, like all of that, the North Pole, the elves. You have a great imagination. I'm like, you should have been a fucking screenwriter, director.
I mean, it's up there with religious stuff, I guess.
Right.
Because it is kind of like Christmas.
It's like religious and then fantasy, and then it mixes into like a total fantasy, and like how like every year people just add to it. I feel like they're like, oh, like the elves can do this, or the reindeers can do that, and then blah blah blah, and then now they can sing, and I don't know. I feel like every year they're adding on to it, but it's like more modernized, not like traditional. It's like, oh, now they have an updated like sleigh. They can go like twice as fast to deliver presents than before. It's like little shit like that.
Rocket,
yeah. It's like they're upgrading the Christmas movies, and like I guess updating is a better word. Updating. Kind of like the way we update our phones. Like it's just like constantly changing, but it's so like current. Like I don't know. I just when I watched Santa Clauses, it was weird. I didn't like it when they kept including like social media and like drones. They're like, we should deliver the presents with drones. Which I get it. Yes. But,
you know what? That's what I'm saying. I don't know. Is Christmas? How long is Christmas going to last? The way that we knew it.
Like, you think it's going to die out?
I don't know, because I think like already just like internet, kids can go on and search.
Yeah.
So, and it's like it comes down to Santa as a tool, right? Parents will or used to be able to use it as a tool against their kids. Like, oh,
if you're bad, Santa will come.
Naughty list. But now I think they kind of know, and which it's also kind of cool that they know that their parents are
right
busting their ass. But also it's kind of like, well, how far do you want your kid to believe in Santa? Are you actively trying to make them believe, or are you just okay with letting them know the way of the world?
I wonder how common it is to like have a kid and just not tell, like not educate. I don't know. Not address Santa. Like it's not like a thing. It's not that you're against it or like you just don't feel like, oh, I don't need to like make this shit up. And like, I'm sure there's some parents out there that.
I'm sure that was my case, I think.
Really?
I think, yeah. Because I know there was, by the time I was old enough to remember, I remember my parents talking about other coworkers, kids being mean to them because they're like, you don't ever give me something. It's only Santa. And so they were complaining about that. I'm like, well,
they're like, that's little do they know I am Santa.
True,
I am him.
Like, they're not grateful towards you and your efforts. So I mean, I get both sides of the aisle, but
I get it too, actually, because
depends on how you,
because they do always make it like they portray it like the best gift that you get is from Santa. Mm-hmm. So you do think like this random guy is just like awesome, gives me exactly what I asked for, but my parents don't, and
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I do get that, but that's interesting, and it definitely shapes every person to grow up differently and also carry on their traditions differently. Like some people might be like, I never celebrated Christmas like that when I was a kid, so now I want to like overly do it with my family and myself, right? And then
that's also what we run into.
And then there's the people that are like, oh my god, like it was such like overkill when I was a kid that I don't want to like anything to do with that as an adult.
What about like in-home decorations?
Oh, okay.
Like I'm not down to do it.
You're like, I'm not fucking putting lights.
It is super nice to walk into somebody else's house and it's all fixed up and nice and cinnamony smell. With
it feels like homey and warm. Like I just want to like
that's great.
Put on the fireplace.
That's about
like I tend to be a little bit more lazy around the holidays. I feel like for some people it's reversed. They're like, I gotta like get shit done. Like the year's ending, but and for me, I'm just like, I did so much this year. I don't want to do anything for a month.
Yeah. I write it like I super keep track of my stuff now.
So oh, okay. Like what?
Quantify it, like just everything. Like I have a daily thing that I fill out that I made. Super like spreadsheet, Excel formula shit. And so that helps keep me accountable. And so, there's some times where you feel super good, like you're pumped, you're like, dang, I'm doing great.
Yeah.
But you're not actually doing anything. Right? And there's
like I'm juiced.
And there's times where you're like, fuck, I'm not getting anything done. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
But it's because you keep track of it. Because I keep track of it, now I can look. I'm like, oh no, I'm actually I'm really busting my ass. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep the pace.
And sometimes when you work hard and to achieve like something that you're really have been trying to do for so long, it's mentally so draining that it kind of fucks with your mental health. You're like, I feel like I'm not like getting there, even though you are, but you don't even see it. You're just like,
Yeah, and that's kind of what this tracking thing helps with. Now I don't have to think about it. The numbers are there, and like I said, you have to be honest, right?
Yeah. No, and I've been using a planner and a calendar. Like I remember back in school, they would always tell us to use it. And I was like, fuck that. I'm not going to use it. I can remember it. I would always try to remember it in my head. Yeah. And then, as I got older, I started forgetting stuff. So now I write everything down and it's like a checklist. I'm like, okay, I did this. I did that on Tuesday. Got to record this. Got to, do that. And oh my God, it sounds like such adulting.
I know.
I was like, we're no longer the kids in the Christmas Story. We're like the adults. Like we're in the awkward stage of the Christmas movie because we're not old enough. Well, I guess we could be old enough to be parents, but we're both not parents.
Yeah.
No. So we're like just there. And we're too young to be like, we believe in Santa. So when we watch the Christmas movie, like I feel like we're not. I think that's why him is funny because it's like a young couple like starting to get married and like more faith.
That's our stage.
That's our stage.
But older people will relate to Bill Cranston,
right? Exactly.
Then,
yeah.
And that's what I love about these Christmas movies. You watch them, the same ones, different age, and you're relating to different parts of it.
Yeah. You know what I just realized? Tim Allen again. He did also Deck the Halls, I think. Is that what it's called? It's like a really funny comedic Christmas movie. Same thing where like they don't want to. Oh, they usually have like the best like house that's lit up on the block, but then their daughter decides to spend Christmas with her new guy's family. So they're like, well, what's the point? Because we used to do this for our daughter. So they decided to take a vacation, and then turns out the daughter calls and she's like, just kidding, like. I'm coming with the guy like to Christmas. So they're like, oh fuck, because they didn't decorate anything. They got like a fake tan because they were going to go on vacation. And it's just funny because you can see the range of Christmas movies again. And with Tim Allen, the same actor, he plays Santa Claus. So he can play that very traditional like family man and then like that funny family man as well. And I think there's a lot of actors like that from back in the day that can do that, which is cool. And with Christmas movies, yeah.
Which is crazy to me.
There's also some Christmas movies where it's okay if you make a sequel to it and it doesn't fuck everything up. Like Home Alone. Like the second one wasn't bad.
No.
Was there a third one?
Yeah, there was a third one.
I don't think I saw that one because kind of after the third one.
Yeah.
But Home Alone 2, he goes to New York, right?
I don't remember.
I think it was cool because it's like the first one he's home alone, he's like dealing with the bad guys, the people breaking in, and then in the second one he's in New York, so he's like exploring New York, like a giant city. So like that was like a cool concept. And then with Santa Claus, it was Santa Claus 1, Santa Claus 2, and I think they had like Jack Frost, like they they made it more
yeah, exactly.
It was just cute. And then I don't know. Have they made any? I don't think they made a new like Christmas movie that like hit the theaters this year.
Oh, this year no. I was gonna say Fat Man. That was
how was that?
Dark humor.
Oh,
but it's Mel Gibson as a fucked up Santa.
Oh,
so there's like killing and stuff. Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Was it good?
Yeah, it's fun.
See, that's another thing. You know how there's like Bad Santa. There's like Violent Night. There's like these new. There's a whole new genre, or I guess it has been around forever. Because maybe some people would even put Die Hard in this category. But it's like
Moms Christmas.
Bad Moms.
Yeah, Bad Moms Christmas.
There's like the Santa's a total like loser, like just drinks all day and like he's just a bad Santa vibe of genres. And then there's the other genre movies of like, oh, like it's like these like single moms trying to like do a good job, or not even single moms, they're just trying to like do a good job and like bring their kids Christmas presents and stuff, but like all goes wrong. And you have to just always have your shit together when you're a parent, so it's funny to like kind of see that angle. But yeah, there's so many different types of Christmas movies. They really range and vary, so it's kind of cool to like hear what everyone's vibes are for the holidays, and also how you celebrate, because we actually celebrate more similar than I thought we were. Like with the whole tamales and on the 24th and stuff like that. My last question would be, would you ever make a Christmas movie? And if so, what would it be about?
I think I would. It's something I've been thinking about, just because it's so fun to get away with themes. And,
I could see you making like a bad Santa type of movie. Yeah,
it would definitely be like a dark comedy.
Okay.
But also, I don't know, maybe
like bad Mrs. Claus or something.
I don't know. I remember last time we spoke about this writing idea.
I know. Well, I noticed that like it's always about Santa Claus. What about Mrs. Claus? Like, who is she? Like, what's even her? I don't know. What's her first name? What is her first name?
Do we know? Santa Claus, because we don't know shit about.
I think if I got asked to write a Christmas movie, I would make it more centered on how Mrs. Claus met Santa Claus, like how their love story kind of like started, and like how she got like put into the picture.
Well, yeah. Well, you'd have to set up a whole world for
right, but that would be fun.
Like, who would they be? With another planet, another world, like just different species?
Yeah, I almost was like, oh, since Santa's from the North Pole, she'd be from the South Pole, but it's not cold like that, so that wouldn't work.
Yeah,
but like, yeah, okay.
Origin story, Santa and Mrs. Claus origin story.
Yeah, how Santa and Mrs. Claus met and fell in love, and how it all came to be. That's what my movie would be about. What about yours?
I don't know. I don't know. It's definitely going to be something raunchy.
Raunchy. The elves gone wild at the workshop.
There's going to be some drama in there for sure.
Yeah, you always have to have some drama.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think I'd make one for like evil me, and then one for child evil me.
One for like the naughty side and the nice side.
Exactly. I would make them like a 2-part.
Oh,
like a POV type thing.
Cool.
Just so I can.
It'd also be interesting, like, because nowadays they're so high tech with all their like, I don't know if you've seen the stuff where like you can, with your remote on the like shows, you can click like a path and then it takes you like the movie's like goes this way, versus if you pick this then it goes that way. And I'm like, what if they did that with like Christmas, but you kind of play it like if you were a naughty kid or if you were a nice kid, and it kind of changes the path of the movie or something. I don't know. Very out of the box, but
kids.
That'd
be interesting for kids.
We don't know what the future of kids like not even kid movies, like of Christmas movies, because they're gonna be able to like add like VR, like fucking 4D. You're gonna be like sitting there like feeling like you're like moving in the sleigh.
I can't wait for that.
So I'm like, it could help make kids believe in Santa more, because it's like you're creating this like fake reality, right? Like where it feels so real, and you're like, I literally got to like ride with the elves. Or it's gonna like kill the Christmas magic. So we'll see.
One or the other.
We'll see. We're gonna see the limits. Yeah. But yeah, no, thank you so much for coming on and talking about Christmas. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas and happy holidays. And I'm excited to follow up in the new year, because more things will obviously happen and you're gonna create more projects. I'm super excited to follow up on that. And season 3 of the podcast. Nice. So yeah, thank you. Okay, guys, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.